Today I was going over some videos on YouTube and I noticed that a lot of people are talking about balancing issues. Now I thought I would go ahead and throw my hat into the ring and talk about what I think would be best to help the game of Overwatch in a more rounded manner. Now a lot of people will speak about their thoughts over characters. While this is a good way to consider the possibilities, I've noticed that there's a more sinister issue lurking in the background. And this is in all of the game modes in Overwatch. This issue is level and hours played. Now, both of these are tied together very closely. As you play more time in-game, you get a higher level. Therefore, if you have a high level, you have lots of hours in-game. So I'm here to discuss how to approach an issue that will fix balancing and also give us more of a rounded experience in Overwatch, one that we can enjoy more often than raging after 5 games. Now, I suggest we approach this issue by setting a level cap at a 100 cap level between others. That means that if you're level 98, you will fight against at most a level 198. This dictates that, roughly guesstimating, that a person will have roughly 60 to 70 hours per 100 levels of gameplay, if they do good. So with this possibility standing into effect, let's go ahead and talk about the pros and cons to this in the game. The first issue that this will correct is friends carrying friends, which can cause an issue with you getting a low skill player and a high SR. This can also cause you to have issues running into people that are carrying their friends, such as a gold and a bronze player versus an entire team of silver players, where the gold only has about 2 to 3 stars. Now, this is considering competitive. But in competitive, if you run into a character like that has, let's say, 200 hours in the game at 2 to 3 stars, let's say they're in the upper 200 area. While this player with a gold and a bronze do technically equal a silver, you now have someone that has a very low knowledge of the game, and then you have someone that has a very high knowledge of the game. If most of your team are 1 stars or below, that means that this person has almost double the amount of playtime you have. And that causes a lot of issues. With more experience comes more finely tuned abilities, usage of abilities, and so on. As you can guess, this causes a lot of issues in-game. This can cause the game to go really fast, and your entire team to be wiped out by a single well-played tracer. This can be quite annoying and infuriating in the game, and it does cause a lot of issues in the game to be enjoyable. Now, if we were to keep that level range between 100 levels, you would then have people that, even if they're carrying their friends, would not be able to join in that range because they would be different than the lower character, and they would also be different from the people that they'd be playing against. This is one thing that I have not really seen a lot of balancing with. While there's a lot of balancing focused on SR and how well you're currently doing, there is nothing that really balances against levels past the 3-star marker. There have been moments where friends of mine and other people have run into 600 level people on the enemy team because we won a few matches. At that point, even if that person is silver, they have a ridiculous amount of hours, upwards of 800 to 1,000 hours. And while that doesn't mean that their skill is not silver, it means that their ability to play the game and adapt has increased by that many hours of gameplay. Next, we have one of the biggest benefits of this idea. If you were to limit the characters between 100 levels, you would always be playing with people in your SR in competitive and all modes that are roughly around the same mindset as you. This means that you'll be playing with people that are better attuned at the game just as you are and are also still learning depending on where you're at. This will put a lot more focus on learning and allow the team and its members to be able to work better at their own skill rank. So for example, say you're playing Overwatch currently, and this has been implemented into the game. 100 level cap and also playtime hours roughly within a certain time gap of hours, let's say 40 hours to 100 hours. So roughly the same as what you'd have with the levels. You'll have people that are joining your game and that you're playing against that have the same amount of hours. They've dedicated the same amount of time. They are, let's say if you're bronze, they're bronze. If you're silver, they're silver. These people will not only match the SR, but also their current standard of how well they play the game. Now, the last thing that we'll be covering would be Smurf accounts. Now, I do understand that this has become quite an issue with people jumping into Smurf accounts and taking down their frustrations on lower elo players, or people that have less time indented into the game, and this can be a very big problem in Overwatch. However, the more time you play the game, the better you get. So, if this person were to have a Smurf account and jump into a match, they would level very, very quickly because they'd be getting more kills and be getting more medals and more experience. So, the more experience they have, the higher their level. This means that Smurf accounts will spend a lot less time in lower elos, which means that by the time that you hit a stride that you're comfortable with and were able to get better at the game, most likely Smurfs would no longer be an issue for you, because they would all be near their level cap and around their SR rating, which is where they should be. Now, I realize that these two ideas do not actually fix a lot of issues in the game of Overwatch. This doesn't attribute to characters, this doesn't attribute to abilities and nerfs and buffs, but this is a deeper issue, an issue that would probably need to be addressed in the near future if people were still to enjoy the game. Now, I've spoken with a lot of people during this competitive Season 7, and a lot of people have stated that they're having a big issue with losing a lot of games. Now, this is tied directly to how many people are playing, if they're playing well, if they're throwing matches, if people are carrying other people, but the biggest issue I've seen so far is the fact that you'll get paired up against people of a higher level, even when they're in your SR. So, what you'll have to do is, when you join a game, you'll get a game with, let's say you have 1 gold, and your entire team is 2 stars or lower. You'll have this gold player that is 3 stars, and the next thing you know, you'll see on the enemy team will have more stars, and then they'll also have someone with a silver border, which would be a 2-star about 700 levels. Now, while this person may be in silver, the levels dictate that this person has played a lot longer at the game, which, regardless of what their SR currently is, their level is a lot higher and their playtime is a lot higher, which means everyone on the enemy team is at a severe disadvantage because this person is more experienced. This goes with the idea that you do not want to pit someone that has played chess for many, many years against someone that has only been playing for a couple of months, even if they're really talented. Because even if that individual is really good, or a prodigy, 9 times out of 10, that individual is not going to have an easy time taking that opponent. Now, I understand that facing higher opponents and more difficult opponents will better yourself as a player in the game of Overwatch. It does not actually help you if you continuously play against these people without learning or without getting any information to adapt to learn. As the game currently stands, what this does is it puts you in a situation to where you will get a few points into SR, and then you'll lose them after game and not really understand what you're doing wrong, or not understand what the team is doing wrong, and you'll get completely one-sided matches that will last maybe 2 minutes, even with good team comp. So I do feel that this is an issue that needs to be addressed to add a little bit of an extra layer of balancing in the game. That way people can enjoy Overwatch to its full potential without having to worry about not being able to push through where they're stuck at currently. This will allow people to have more time to adjust, to learn, and to grow as players. Hey guys, thank you so much for looking at my video. Thank you for watching, getting through the entire thing. If you'd like, please go ahead and comment below, give me any ideas, pros, cons, anything that would help this idea to be better or to maybe help it to grow a little bit more fine-tuned. And if you like the video, please go ahead and subscribe and like the video. That helps a lot. And also, I now have a Patreon available on the link below in the description that you can check out. So please go ahead and say hello and tell me what you think. Thank you so much for watching my video, and have a great day.